Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter show. Obviously, that's literally all that's been on the channel at the moment. But obviously, it will be a watch along this weekend. So obviously, we're playing Tottenham early kickoff. But yeah, there's a couple games we need to obviously discuss before that, and one of them was a victory, first ever 3 points in the Prem against Everton away, and then obviously we will get into the Burnley game later on, which is obviously a rescheduled fixture, the only Premier League rescheduled fixture so far this season. And yeah, again, it's another team that I believe will be in that battle with us. So yeah, but like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, all good, mate. Excellent.
Good. But yeah, let's get into it. So obviously we took on Everton on the weekend. Obviously we done the usual, watched it together. And the lineup was pretty much what we said. Obviously Kaminsky in goal. Back three of Bell, Lockyer and Burke. Doughty was on the left. Kabore was on the right. Midfield of Nakamba and Ruddock. And then just ahead was Chio, Brown and Morris. So in a way, similar to, what it was in a certain sense against Fulham, not Fulham, sorry, Wolves, with the sense of essentially the front three. And yeah, as for the bench, it was Elijah, Anderson, Berry, Chong, Giles, Johnson, Krul, Menji, Woodrow. The only thing I was not surprised about, but the only difference I went with compared to what the lineup was, I went three in midfield and two up front. But, like I say, it's similar to what we saw against Wolves. And it makes sense to go like that away from home, especially with the lack of midfield options we currently have. Obviously, Lokonga's out, as we know. Obviously, Barkley was still out for this one. He was hoping to be back. But obviously, Rob Edwards confirmed that he wasn't. But yeah, it's a decent lineup, and I was happy with it when I looked at it, to be honest. Your thoughts on it, Dad?
Yeah, same. Expected pretty much. Wasn't as defensive as I thought it was going to be either, really. So yeah, quite surprised. So.
Yeah. No, 100%. But moving on to the first half. And what a start. What a first half it was. We were absolutely loving it. Obviously, Everton had a few half chances. Obviously you have to get that in, a few that went wide. There was one where I felt Kabore should have done better. I think it was McNeil that took on the shot, and we thought that was in. We was like, oh, really? That would have been a really good goal if that went in. I did say in the preview that is a player we do have to watch out for, and one I would take at Luton. Obviously he was at Burnley. That's where they got him from, and I've always seen glimpses of good spells of him. But he had an opportunity. There had a few other opportunities that went just wide. And then we started to grow into it, I would say, around about after 15 minutes. And we had a few chances. And a lot of the set pieces in this game we looked very dangerous from. And that is the Luton I'm used to seeing. And I was saying it to you, Dad, when we were watching it, because we know how dangerous we can be from set pieces. We've seen it many a times last season. Obviously the standout is obviously the playoff semi-final second leg, when it comes to set piece goals. But yeah, Lockyer capitalised on Ashley Young's mistake. Morris was very unlucky not to score originally. He could have actually had a hat-trick in this game. That header there, obviously his goal, which you'll get into, and then he had a moment in the second half as well. But yeah, Lockyer just capitalised on Ashley Young's mistake, put good pressure on him, and we deserved it. We deserved it, in my opinion, because, like I say, we grew into it and we were starting to get on the ball a lot more and dominate for me. But brilliant there by Lockyer. Obviously, his first goal in the Premier League. So, yeah, shout out to him. Obviously, his last goal before that was, obviously in the playoff semi-final second leg. So, yeah, last two goals have been massive that he scored, because that one obviously got us to the final, etc. And then obviously this one is, one of the goals that's won us our first ever game in the Prem. So shout out to him. But what did you make of the goal, Dad?
Yeah, so we were piling the pressure on them, playing all right. We didn't look really phased at all in that game, especially in the first half. Rode their luck a little bit, but still they got to put them chances away. They didn't. Um, yeah, it's good. I was saying to you before, we need to start scoring from these set pieces. That's what one of our strong points and stuff. And that's the first game that we've seen it pay off properly. Great header by Morris. He's looking better every game, and he's proven that he can do it at this level. Brilliant header. And yeah, grit, determination. Lockyer saw the opportunity, and that's what we need. And that's what we're about. So he just ran in. Ashley Young, it's that second decision making that we need to be doing in the Premier League. We're saying about it. But on the other hand, where we're letting in goals, but this one was pounce. He did. He saw it. He saw him burst forward. And then, just got his foot in there. Ashley Young was literally a millimetre from whacking it clear. And I'm pleased that he scored early as well, because I was pretty sure that he would score this season, but early on, away as well. That's pretty good. That would do his confidence knowing good. So really, really pleased. Yeah, good finish.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then obviously shortly after we scored again, and you actually did say you got a feeling we'll score from this set piece, and we actually did, and it was a brilliant goal. Silly from an Everton perspective in the sense of where they're not marking him. Yeah, especially Morris. Striker number 9, and it was a great finish. Morris just capitalised on it. It's a wicked finish. Full volley. Oh, lovely, absolutely lovely. Pickford had no chance, and yeah, we were absolutely loving it. You know what I mean? And obviously all the Luton fans in the away end that went as well were. But yeah, another really good goal, wasn't it? From another set piece.
Well, the thing is as well, overall, it was pouring down with rain. Yes, some of these players that don't. Much professional footballers can deal with that, but some players they just don't like it. And it made things a little bit. A little bit slightly treacherous and going in for tackles and things like that. But it's a perfect game for us. It turned out in that way. And yeah, again from Doughty, you cannot not start him at the moment.
Every time he crossed it in, sorry to cut you off, but every time he crossed it in, it looked dangerous every single time.
And yeah, you saw it he just peeled away back. Their defender glanced around, looked at him. I don't know what he thought. Who's that? It's only Morris. The Everton fans, they don't know who our players are. It don't look like your players know who our players are either. And yeah, just peeled away, and as soon brilliant, confident as well. And we deserved it. And don't underestimate us on that. And it was quite funny, yeah. It was quite funny watching some of their reactions, because they kind of just didn't know what was going on, and you just take chances, and don't underestimate us, and we should get punished. As simple as that. But the build up and the confidence that was oozing from them as well, I do believe is coming from the manager as well. It's just continuing that sort of momentum. I knew we'd put in a performance.
Yeah, he did.
Felt like they'd edge it, and mainly because maybe Pickford sort of saves them. That didn't happen quite. But the bounce back, and that's what we used to do. Normally, if we have a defeat, we do bounce back. And to do it in Premier League away against a team, one of the last 2, yeah, they got problems. But we both predicted a slight defeat, so it's pleasing that we've done that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously, I said a draw. I knew we'd definitely get one. Just due to the fact Everton do concede at home, but I just thought it'd be one where it was similar to the Wolves game. That's what I thought. But to be proven wrong like that, you can't be complaining. So yeah, and then obviously, you know, the other talking point is obviously their goal. Now, obviously, it did go to VAR. It's a difficult one. You know, I can't really be bothered to talk about, you know, VAR after all the errors you're seeing in all these games this weekend. You know, a lot of them, obviously, the Liverpool Tottenham one, even yesterday in the Forest one. It's just mental, mate. Just absolutely mental. But Calvert-Lewin got the goal. Now, I think when we done our predictions, you did actually say you think he would get their goal. But yeah, you know, it was one where he should really be scoring that, you know, after that rebound. I think it's Decore who had it originally. You know, it was a good save by Kaminsky. You know, he was unlucky there, to be honest. You know, it's not like the mistake he done against Fulham, for example. You know, that one was unlucky. But like I said, obviously it went VAR, you know, because, you know, they were seeing whether Calvert-Lewin was onside. They said he was. Obviously, he was in line with Reece Burke. But yeah, it was one of them. You know, I thought it was an unlucky goal to concede. To be fair, it's not like we gifted him it for me, like we have seen towards the start of the season in certain games. But what did you make of it?
Yeah, stopped the cross, Kabore. You know, attempted good save from there for Kaminsky. Got kind of tangled up in the other defender's leg, so he couldn't get up again. And it was a scrappy goal to concede, and he was just onside, and he's a poacher, isn't it? So, you know what I mean? He's that level striker, so that's gonna happen. But you know, we defended well after that, and went in like that at half time, and that's what you got to do. It's not all about watching pretty football all the time, and do you know what I mean? And that's we're breaking that up in the Premier League. You know, we said we probably would end up doing that, and you know, the first start of the season it was like, what's going on? We're not doing that. Now we seem to be being able to play our football and sort of slightly more imposing our style on these teams now. And the question will be tomorrow night, see if we can continue that. So
yeah, no, definitely 100%. And then moving on to the second half, obviously we done some changes. Well, we done one change straight away, and that was obviously Anderson come on for Burke. You know, he was a player that I was surprised he weren't starting. You know, obviously I did put him in, but obviously Burke, you know, again another good performance. I felt obviously he had I think it was a slight. I can't remember what it was exactly, but obviously it was one that was needed for him to come off. And yeah, like I say, he was decent. Obviously, Anderson come on. I thought he was really good when he come on. You know, again, similar to what we've seen of him, composed. He was very vocal with the players, you know, in and around him. And then shortly after, Menji come on for Lockyer. Again, Lockyer went down, but I don't think it's as bad as what it seemed, according to, you know, stuff I've heard and that. When it comes to that, and then yeah, we were just, you know, we had that chance with Morris, like I said earlier. Like I say, he could have got a hat trick. Brown was just offside.
that was
Yeah, exactly. That was very good build-up play. You know, it's very, very unlucky, like you say. And yeah, Morris just looked very, very dangerous in this game. Like I said, he could have got a hat trick, so that would have been immense. But you know, still scored a wicked goal and looked very good. And then obviously he made a few changes a bit later on in the game. And to be fair, Elijah come on, and I felt he needed to. I wouldn't have took him off for Morris personally. I'd have brung on Brown because I don't think Brown was as good as what he was, like for example in the Fulham game. He was still okay, but yeah, we've seen better. And I feel Elijah, you know, I felt it was good to bring him on, you know, because he can, you know, the way that defence was, he would have definitely, you know, caused problems for me. And you saw it when he come on, you know, he tried to a few times on that right-hand side, and was earning us throws and etc. And then, yeah, obviously shortly after, Woodrow come on for Doughty. Surprised about that one in a sense, especially for Doughty as well. But we saw the game out, and yeah, made history and got the win in the end. But what did you make of the second half as a whole, really?
Yeah, we just controlled it. Could have put another one in, but create that opportunity still, which is what we're looking to do. Defensively sound, especially with two Lockyer and Burt both coming off. Both replacements done well, especially Anderson. And Kaminsky didn't really have a save to make in the second half, so we controlled the game. That's what you've got to do. Down to them to prove that we're the worst team and less points than Derby and couldn't do it. So that tells you differently then, don't it? Because that more possession, they had quite a lot of shots. They're at home. Obviously, you're going to have more possession, more shots, but we kept them quiet. So we deserve more respect, but we'll see. We'll keep going and see what happens. But yeah, Fuller deserve victory. I'm pleasing that Robert would go like defensively. Stuck with the changes made. The players that ain't been started Ruddock done pretty well, to be fair. And yeah, on to the next one. Quick. That's the way it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Quick turnaround. And like I said at the start of this, obviously another team that is going to be in and around us, I believe, when it comes to the battle in the relegation, the relegation battle. But yeah, let's go through some comments and then we'll jump into the player ratings. Big up to Stephen, says big up to Ty. Big up yourself, mate, says Tyler. It's been long. Yeah, no, it has been a while since I've seen you in, mate. But big up yourself. Hope you're well. Big up to Spencer. He says, why is it not working? There we go. Haiti, congrats on your first 3 points in the Premier League. It couldn't have come against a better side. Yeah, I knew you'd be loving that, but yeah, no, it was absolutely brilliant. Going more on the game. I think the 2-0, having that for a while really helped us out. Getting them early goals to basically see it out and have a very high chance of winning it. So yeah, no, absolutely. Fair play to Luton beating the Toffees. Yeah, well, absolutely. Stephen says, big up to you as well, Dad. Spencer says, hello to you as well. But I hope you guys beat Spurs this weekend after last week's robbery. They deserve it. It was mental, that game. I watched it. Obviously, I briefly said it on Hanno's stream yesterday, but I did watch it with my mate, who is a Liverpool fan, obviously, Jack, who's been on the channel a few times. And it was an absolute joke, mate. Like, it does seem really dodgy to me. And even more stuff has come out. I've heard, the ones that were on VAR were in the UAE, doing a game 48 hours before. And, obviously the UAE, the Man City owner or whatever, Sheikh Man, whatever his name is to do with that. It just seemed really dodgy, especially if City dropping points as well. It was weird, man. It was very weird. But yeah, it is very weird. VAR people that run it, I'll tell you that. Steve says, Morris, what well taken goal. 1-time boom, 2 goals against England, number 1. Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up to Jackie. She says, hi, Ty Daz. I'm still buzzing. Set pieces, wicked, all of them. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, every set piece we had in this game, we looked dangerous on it, especially in the first half. And that's why we felt, when we were watching it live, a goal was going to come. Just because of the pressure we were piling on them. So yeah. No, I remember you saying. Obviously, you did say 3-0, but then you did say you're praying for a 2-1. So yeah, that's always good there. And absolutely only one at the moment, Stephen. But yeah, player ratings. Let's get into it. So obviously, we'll start off with Kaminsky. Like you said, sorry, didn't have an awful lot to do. The goal, he was unlucky. Yeah, I thought he's decent. I'll go with I won't go too high, but I'll go with a 6.5.
I'll give him a 7. He did have a couple of punch outs, I think, and But again, he had to be switched on. A bit unlucky with a goal. I'll give him a 7.
Fair enough. Now, moving on to the back three, we'll start off with Burke. Obviously, he had to come off at half time. But yeah, I thought he played well again. You know, he looks confident. Looks like he can make this step up, like we've been saying for weeks. And yeah, I thought he was decent. I'll just go with a 7.
Yeah, looks composed, comfortable, gelling. It was a bit worrying when he come off, but I think it's just a slight strain. I think that's what they're doing now as well. Like they're coming off as soon as anything could develop work, more. So, but yeah, he composed. He looks like he definitely can make that step up. I keep saying it, but yeah, 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Tomo, 7, easy afternoon. Most of their shots went off target, done what was needed. Yeah, it's true, especially in the first half. A lot of them were. And then Jackie's gone for 7.5 for Burke. And then moving on to Lockyer, obviously got one of the goals. Like I say, done well to capitalise on, what Ashley Young was doing. And yeah, defended pretty well. This is the bit, not even just because he scored, just, we won the game as well. This is probably the best performance I've seen of him so far this season. And he could be up there. He could be up there for a man of the match. He's not quite mine, but he could be up there. So I'm going to go with a 7.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 7.5. Could have stayed on for longer. Yeah, he'd have been up there and we've got a higher rating, but 7.5. Vital goal, showed that hunger, brilliant, and was defensively sound as well. Wasn't really panicky in this game, controlled his ball. I love the way he keeps hold of the ball and then switches it without panicking to clear it sometimes. I like that about his game. And yeah, I can't think he had a massive black eye, or he had a black eye, and I don't think it was anything to do with his fitness. I think it was just that, and yeah, potentially maybe because if he was feeling anything, but I still, when that happened, I didn't think, oh no, what's going to go on? Do you know what I mean? 'Cause we was in control of the game, so I was thinking, yeah, all right. Menji, he was apparently out of the Exeter shambles. He was like probably the best player apparently. So let's see, and he did looks like a strong lad.
Yeah,
quite intelligent footballer by the looks of his position and stuff. So it was good. 7.5.
fair enough. Steve says Burke 7. Shame he felt his groin, but always good. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the thing about him. Like I say, he looks like he can, make that step up for sure. Jackie's gone with an 8 for Lockyer. And then Steve says Lockyer 7.5. Looked okay after coming off. Good going forward, determination and grip. Yeah, exactly, mate. But yeah, moving on to the next player, Amari Bell. I thought he was decent. Obviously, he was playing that left centre-back role again. And considering he was playing that role, I thought he was pretty good. I'm not going to go too high, but I'll just go over 7.
I think again, this was a real test for Bell in certain ways, not massively, but again, like I say, he's out of position, and previously, I think it's just the way we're playing as well. He was getting a lot of stuff come down his side, and it wasn't easy for him. But then again, we did play Giles at them games as well, so I think that having Doughty there has changed, because Doughty for me does come back and defend as well, and Bell was getting forward as well. Plays some good, some good passing. Don't forget he knows the front, the way we like to attack. So he's an intelligent player as well. I thought he was really good from Bell. 7.5.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Jackie says 7 for Bell, and then Stephen's gone for a 7 as well. He also says looked comfortable this weekend. Yeah, he did, especially like I say in that role. Moving on to the next player, Kabore. Now, he was frustrating me at times. You could see that Everton saw that right-hand side could, be exploited. A few times he was getting done a bit too easy for me. Obviously, he did get a yellow card as well. And, I know it sounds a bit harsh, but I'm sort of glad this is only a loan because I just don't know, mate. I don't know. Previous right backs I've seen that have come out on loan, or even James Bree, like they've just, they've done their little bits like Bree. Sometimes his crossing weren't great, and etc. But I don't know, Kabora just doesn't look comfortable for me. At this moment in time, hopefully it changes as the weeks go on. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's good going forward, but yeah, you could see that Everton were trying to, exploit that right hand side that he was on, and I do think, and I do know when we play a better team than Everton, it could be peak on that side if he is on that side. So yeah, I'm not going to go too high for Kabore, but I'm not going to go super low because obviously he did win the game. But I'll go over 6.
I thought he was terrible. They just seem to win everything, get all the crosses in on his side. He was dilly-dally. He nearly made a similar mistake that he did against Exeter. He was controlling the ball. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Is it because you've been in Man City's academy and things like that, and it's all easy football there kind of thing? And this is like, can't be doing that. And the
McNeil chance as well.
About when we get, the Luton players have never heard of them and they're not good enough and do it. He's not even our player. He's actually a Manchester City player. And he was the worst player on the pitch for me. Sorry. It just looked like the composure is just not there. What's going on? Could understand it if it was like Johnson.
Yeah.
But no, it weren't good. And yeah, we know he's got pace. We know he can put the cross in, and we know he's got ability. But it's like Giles. But with this, we've got no one else to put there in certain times. Even though, you'll see my lineup anyway. But yeah, it weren't great from him. They could have set us back because they were close with a couple of opportunities that were coming from his side and things like that. Even the goal, half-hearted attempts block the cross or whatever. Yeah, not good. Expect better. 5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I say, there was a mistake. I said it at the start. McNeil, nearly scored because of Kabore, let's be honest. So, no, agree. Moving on to the next player, Ruddock. Now, going into it, we were a bit, let's be honest, we were a bit sceptical because of his performance against Exeter. We know in the Premier League, when he's had the opportunities to come on, he's looked good. But since that game, being a captain, obviously it weren't great from him. But he played well. He played well in this game. I wouldn't say it was as good as it looked when he's come on. But then again, he's had less time to look better in that sense. Whereas this was a whole game after that Exeter game. Obviously, we had to go with him really because there's not really any other options in the midfield right now. Alongside Nakamba. But yeah, I thought he was decent. I thought he was okay. I'll go over 7 for Ruddock.
I'll give him a 7. I think he was asked to do a job as well. Do you know what I mean? He worked play like he can at home or etc. And he done it pretty well for the main part. A couple of stray passes, but you get that from Ruddock anyway, like quite a lot. So yeah, 7. And he took the captain's armband as well off the locker. So
yeah, that's true.
7.
Yeah, I forgot to go through Jackie and Stephen's ratings for Kabore, so I'll just do that quickly now. Kabore 7, says Jackie. Stephen says Kabore 6.8. It was a long afternoon, but worked hard. I'm sure he will become solid. I hope so, mate. I hope so. Yeah, I'm not sure at this time. Not sure. And then for Ruddock, Jackie's gone with 7.5, and then Stephen says 7.5. Good game, worked well with Marvellous, and stuck to what was asked. Yeah, exactly. And then moving on to Marvellous, he is my man of the match. He was absolutely brilliant. He was immense, and Luton did a thing at the end of the game a couple of hours after. Who's your man of the match? And when I last looked at it, he won it by literally 1%. but he was immense. You know, the experience in this game really showed from him. You know, obviously when it comes to experienced Premier League players for us, you know, obviously there was a moment at the end when we were just trying to see the game out where he won the ball off their player. I can't remember who it was exactly, but like he won it so it hit them and then went out for a throw. I was really impressed with that. You know, that shows the experience, and he was just getting stuck in most tackles. I think he's up there now in the Premier League for most tackles won this season.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. My man of the match. For me, I'm going to go with 9.
I'll give him an 8. I thought he was really good again. And again, he's showing why we liked him in the first place, why we've signed him again. Yeah, definitely got that experience and showing it. And that's what it counts. It's all right having it, but having it and showing it is two different things. And he has been showing it. We know he has got cards in him and that as well, so we've got to expect that. But if the majority of the time he's doing that, breaking up the midfield, getting him tackles in, then we can't complain. He's another player for me that has to start. So I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, fair enough. Jackie's gone with an 8.5. Stephen says 8, close to my man of the match. Looked a class above. He's a first name of team sheet player, and now he's number 1 for tackles 1. There you go. Yeah, so that was obviously the stat that I saw. And then moving on to Doughty. Obviously, you know, played really well. Like I said, his crosses in the first half, every single one of them looked dangerous. And like I said, I felt it was a matter of time before we were going to score, just because how good we were from set pieces, his crosses, etc. Obviously, he was on the left this game. Excuse me. But yeah, he was really good. He was really good, man. I'm impressed with him. Again, he's another name you can't not put him in the team. First 11, just because how good he's been, whether it's on that left or right for me. So I'm going to go with I'll go for 8.
Yeah, I'll give him 8. He was close as well for me. Another outstanding performance. He's definitely sits well at a Premier League level. And he's just going to get better and better for it. He should be keeping Giles out of the team because he's going, well, I'll do it. I'll show you how to do it, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's just confident, and I like the way he tracks back on that as well. When he's still got that team spirit and like work ethic from last season. So again, can't be dropping him for me unless he gets injured, obviously, or he's knackered to shit or whatever. But he's young, he's still 23 as well. 8.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Jackie's gone with 8.5. And then moving on to essentially the front three. We'll start off with Brown. Like I say, I think he was still decent, but I don't think he was as good as like the Fulham game, for example, and the Wolves game. But, you know, obviously unlucky, you know, I'd say on that Morris goal, the one that didn't obviously count. But yeah, I felt, you know, like I said, when I wanted Elijah to come on, I felt it should have been for him, and it would have been, you know, really good if it was for him. But then again, I see why it is Morris. But yeah, Brown, like I say, I've seen better, but it wasn't awful. I'll just go with 7.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. You know, other than that chance, but he defended quite well at times. It just weren't his best game, but it weren't his worst game either, you know. So I still expect we're going to see a lot more from him. Wouldn't be surprised if he is rested tomorrow, but because I've got a feeling potentially that could happen. But 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely fair enough. Let's go through your comments. Stephen's on Doughty. He's got that is his man of the match, 8.7. Looked great this weekend. He has settled into Premiership easily. Set pieces outstanding. Hats off to him. Absolutely. Jackie's gone for a 7 for Brown. And then Stephen says 6.5. Wasn't in the game as much as I'm sure he would have liked. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. And then moving on to Chio. Looked very good again. What a player. What a player. You know, anytime he's running at someone since he's joined, I just, you know, get excited because I know something's going to happen, you know, an opportunity is going to be created. And he was doing a lot of that in this game. And yeah, he was wicked. He was wicked. You know, him and Doughty as well on that left-hand side at times in the game were very good. So yeah, Chio for me, I'm gonna go with I'll go with 8.
I'll give him a 7.5. I've seen more. It was decent from him. You know, he does look a threat, but at times I felt like he could have stepped on the gas a little bit more, or took on their man a little bit more. But you know, it was still good from him. You've got to remember it was a away performance, and yeah, he's looking good. He's got that. He fits in perfectly. Do you know what I mean? To the ethics again. So, but yeah, 7.5.
Fair enough. Jackie's gone with 8.5 for Chio, and then moving up front, the last player out of the starting 11, Morris. Lovely goal. You know, like I say, very unlucky not to have a hat trick in this game. And yeah, he's just looking really good now. Obviously, 3 goals this season, 2 penalties, and a lovely volley. And yeah, a lot of people have put him in their fantasy for this double game week, including myself. And yeah, he's looking very good. And yeah, shout out to him really. So I'm gonna go when it comes to a rating. Close to get my man of that is second closest. I'm gonna say I'll go with a 8.8 with a
Uh,
different rating.
he's my man of the match. 8.5. I thought you know, he's a header, very excellent header against, you know, Pitt as well. Created the goal basically, you know. And then the second goal, brilliant finish. Yeah, like I said, could have had a hat trick. Was his best game I think I've seen so far from him this season. Looked very dangerous. Was, you know, getting fouled left, right, and centre as well, and out arguing with the ref about it, and then did win a free kick after that because, you know, it was great. You know, it's ridiculous. And was just trouble for the whole game. And hold up play excellent. And considering, you know, the sort of, it was like this is what, you know, is setting an example to Elijah, to Woodrow, to whoever else is going to be looking to score goals. You know, it comes from, sometimes does come from your strikers to give the other players a bit more confidence and things like that. Always looking dangerous for set pieces as well. Yeah, man of the match, 8.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to the subs, obviously 4 substitutions in this game. First one, Anderson looked very good when he come on, composed. What we have seen of him, and like I say, is very vocal with players around him, and he was a massive part of us, you know, coming out and ending up with the win for me. You know, when it comes to substitutes. So I'm gonna go with 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. I thought he was excellent when he come on. You know, he's a tall lad as well. What we need, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does start tomorrow. But yeah, definitely helped us with that continuation, if you like, of us, you know, way we were playing with them and forced changes. And yeah, look good when he come on. That's what you want. That's exactly what it's all about, and he's showing that. 7.
Yeah, absolutely. Other ratings, Steve says Chio 7.9, fastest player in Premiership confirmed. Yeah, I saw that. Worked hard, undefeated when he starts. Yeah, exactly. Jackie says Morris 8.5. Stephen says Morris 8.2. You know what you get, simple. Jackie's gone with 7.5 for Anderson, and then Stephen says 7. Solid, no issues with him at all. Exactly. And then moving on to the next one, men, like I say, looks composed when he came again. You know, I said it when we signed him. You know, based on the highlights I've seen of him, he looks very, very bulky. Like I say, he does look very physical in that sense as well. And again, you know, as another player that helps obviously see it out. So yeah, again, I'm going to go with another 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7, and I think it's good because we've signed him permanent. He's a permanent signing. He's not a loan. I think he's going to be quite an asset to us going forward. He's definitely got the right attributes, and I think he'll fit in with our squad, and again, work ethic. So 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to the next one, Elijah. Like I said, I felt this sub was needed. Have him on that right hand side. At times he was going forward there, earning us throws, doing well. Again, another 7.
Yeah, well, 6.5 for me. He did look. He just basically come on and done what hold up the ball, make them runs in the channels and that. And, it wasn't about him necessarily going out and quick, we've got to score again kind of thing. And he done that pretty well. He looked a little bit nervous for me, a little bit like as if he's got to get things right rather than play his natural game. I think his confidence has took a slight knock. But, he done what he had to do. And, 6.5.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Stephen did say earlier, I told you we'll win 2-1. Yeah, fair play, mate. But yeah, he also says Menji 7. Hopefully gets him Saturday. Yeah, no, absolutely. And then Jackie's come for a 7 for Elijah. And then moving on to the last player rating, that was obviously Woodrow. He come on with 7 minutes left. I was surprised he come on, to be honest. I'm not going to lie, especially after his performance the other day. Elijah was different for me for him to come on because I felt it was needed, the threats he can cause. But yeah, Woodrow, come on and just, try to come back defensively, help out and just see the game out really. So I'm just going to go over 6 for Woodrow.
Yeah, same. There's a couple of things that I didn't like. I can't remember what it was. We was watching it together. I was sort of a little bit of petulant sort of attitude, a little bit. Just a couple of like loose passes and stuff. Again, his confidence has been knocked by that exit game, and he'd have been trying too hard, but it is what it is. 6.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But there you go. They are obviously the player ratings, obviously man of the matches as well. So yeah, any final things you'd like to say on that Everton game? First win in the Premier League.
In there, like it's done now. 2 games on, 2 league games unbeaten. Let's see if we can make it 3. But from what we have seen from the start, the way we've changed things up after the first couple of games, we have got better and better each game, and we just need to now start playing. We learn. We're still learning, but we can utilise our strengths more. Let's just keep it up. Fans have been brilliant. Let's just enjoy it. But, this is where we can potentially start enjoying it now. We know it'll be a struggle still, but we want to fight, and that's all we want to see, and we are seeing that, and I think we will still see that in the next 2 games as well.
Yeah, and hopefully these next few games, they could be obviously a stamp on getting the first win at Kenilworth Road. In obviously ideally both of them, but we will see. But obviously moving on to the game, obviously tomorrow, like I say, we are first rescheduled game of the season. Obviously this was meant to happen second game of the season, but obviously Kenilworth Road was still being done up, finalised. But we are back at Kenilworth Road under the lights. Obviously the last time we was obviously the West Ham game. But obviously we're taking on Burnley in this one. And a bit of insight, like we always do, going into it. So obviously we're at home, like I say. Burnley obviously still winless yet. Obviously they did take another defeat on the weekend, 2-0 to Newcastle. But as we know, that's always a difficult place to go, St James's Park. But yeah, insight going into it, like I say, Luton are winless in their last 6 league games against Burnley, drawing 3, losing 3, since the 2-0 away win in the third tier in March 2000. Burnley have won 6 of their last 8 away games, league games against Luton, losing 2, including each of the last 3 in a row. This is the first top flight meeting between Luton and Burnley since the 1974-75 campaign, when the Clarets won 1-0 at home and away 3-2 games against the Hatters. Both teams have scored 13 of the last 15 Premier League meetings between two newly promoted sides, with the only exceptions being a 3-0 Norwich win at Watford. I remember that game, that was hilarious. January 2022, and the 2-0 Fulham home win over Nottingham Forest in February 2023. Since the start of the 2020-21 season, Premier League matches between two promoted clubs have averaged 3.7 goals per game, 66 goals in 18 matches. And in the last one, having lost their first 4 Premier League games, Luton are now unbeaten in 2, picking up their first win in the competition last time out at Everton. The Hatters have conceded 9 goals in their first 3 games this season, an average of 3 per game, but have conceded exactly once in each of their last 3. So that's a bit of that. The stats at the start, they the good stats to hear if you're a Burnley fan, but that last one is a good one to hear for us, for sure. And then a bit on it, from what Rob Edwards has said and that sort of thing. Obviously, the last meeting as well between us two was obviously in the Championship last season. We were very unfortunate not to get a draw in that game. Obviously, they scored from a penalty. That shouldn't have even, been a free kick from what they got in the build-up for me. But yeah, team news as well going into it. Obviously, Lockyer and Burke had their moments where obviously that's come off, but they are both all good to feature in Tuesday night's game. And then a bit on Ross Barkley as well. Rob Edwards has said that he's hopeful that Ross Barkley will be able to feature in Saturday's lunchtime kickoff against Spurs. So going by that, obviously he won't be available for tomorrow. And then obviously the usual ones are out at the moment, like Osho, Potts, Lukonga, obviously now, and Clark. And the officials, we have to look at these things given by results this weekend, will be Peter Banks. 22 yellow cards and a red card have been handed out by Banks across his 4 Premier League games so far this season. Luton Town last had a game run by Banks in May 2022 when Hatters fell to the defeat in the playoff second leg semi-final at Huddersfield. And then VAR is going to be Michael Salisbury. That is that upon that. So that's a bit of, insight and more stuff going into it. But after saying all of that, Dad, how are you feeling going into this one?
Well, I'm feeling a lot more confident than, before the Everton game, if that makes sense. I think this is a great opportunity for us to capitalise on where we are in the table and we're being at home. There was a lot of talk about this game, even to the fact that Burnley should have said, no, we'll play it at our ground instead, and things like that. And I've heard pundits saying similar things, almost in a derogatory, definitely in a derogatory. They could have guaranteed themselves 3 points. They've had their first win already on the table, things like that, yeah. So I'm thinking that's going to backfire on them as well. And the last 2 or 3 performances really in the league have been, pretty decent. So I don't feel like Burnley have, they've had tough games, but every game's tough in the Premier League, in my, they've been letting quite a few goals. So I think their confidence is quite lacking at the moment. And this is a good opportunity for us to get something from the game. So I'm feeling pretty confident now.
Yeah, No, I'm the same as you, especially since that Everton game. I'm feeling confident. Seeing a Burnley still, haven't got a win yet. Like I say, Newcastle is a very tough place to go to. It's probably one of the toughest in the league. If you're basing it on last season, I think Liverpool were the only team to go there and win, if I'm correct. So, we know it is, but still, even a couple of games they've had this season when they had Aston Villa at home, even though they're playing very well, this season, I thought, being at home they would get something, but they didn't. They lost 3-1. So yeah, I'm feeling confident, especially after that game at home as well, under the lights. It's all interesting. But yeah, obviously we will get into the lineups that we would go with, and then obviously we will get into the score predictions. Let me just get up the lineup that I would go with. So in this one, I'd go with this formation wise, which is sort of what it has been anyway. So yeah, I'll go with that. Kaminsky in goal, of course. The back three, I would go with. I'd keep it as what it is, or what it was the other day. Wouldn't mind Anderson in at all, but I'll go with Bell, Lockyer, and Burke again. But then again, if Anderson is in this one, I wouldn't be surprised because as much as Burke and Lockyer are fine for this one, just to maybe rest them up a little bit, bring them on later on in the game. Especially, I could see Anderson being in for Burke, for example. But I'll stick with that. And then when it comes to the wing backs, I'm going to keep it as what it was the other day as well. Doughty and Kabore. Obviously, when it comes to that right side, we don't have any options other than Kabore. You could maybe put Giles on and then put Doughty on the right, but I'd stick with that. And then midfield, Nakamba and Ruddock, keep it same as the other day, especially with the lack of options. And then the front three, it essentially, obviously Morris up front, Chio on the left, and I'll stick with Brown. So yeah, I'm going with an unchanged lineup, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was one or two changes. But I'm gonna stick with that, to be honest. Don't change your winning team. That's how I sort of see it in this one. And obviously we got a lot of players still out, like I say. So I'd go with that. Any changes you'd make?
Yeah, I'll show you mine. I get what you're saying. I don't know. Part of me feels like there will be a couple of changes because of the turnaround. So I'll show you mine. See it?
Yeah, it's just come up.
Yeah, so obviously Kaminsky in goal. I probably would give Bell a rest in this one because you keep saying about it, and for me, this is perfect time to do it. I'd put Anderson, three at the back: Anderson, Lockyer, Burke, and then Marvellous and Pelly, sitting back a little bit in that midfield. And then I feel we've got to have a Cam in there against Burnley, being at home as well. So I'm going to give Chong that position there. And then on the left, we'll have Doughty. And then Kabore's dropped to the bench for me. Chio is going to start on that side for me. And then Morris and Brown up front. I'm tempted, though, to possibly Elijah Will, but I think Brown just edges it for me. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. I think Chio can get back and defend. We're at home, so we're not going to be looking to be doing that much, in my opinion. So just let's do that. Because also, what happens if Kabore does get injured? You will have to be thinking about who can play on that side, and I doubt he can as well. But for me, I put Chio there. We'll see.
Yeah, well, fair enough. I wouldn't mind that at all, and it, like you say, it would make sense being at home. Um, putting in your chongs and yeah, I agree with you. I think Brown's slightly ahead, but if Elijah comes on and looks good, then he might go ahead of Brown
Yeah,
again.
it all depends what they've been looking at, like defensively, like Burnley. We need to go back and look at some of their games. So I've seen a couple of moments from them. They remind me a little bit like Wolves. They're very good technically and stuff. They're just finding it hard to put the ball in the back of the net. But they have got some very good players. They've got the advantage of some of them players as well, and company. They've already played at Kenilworth Road. It's not going to be a surprise to them recently as well. But they do know that we gave them a good game. We've also made changes. We've also got other players as well as them. I think it's a massive game for Trafford. Yeah, he definitely never played at Kenilworth Road before. I think that it's going to definitely probably have an effect on him. And I think we can, if we attack them, I think we can get a result. So let's do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. He hasn't witnessed playing at the Kenny, and I still don't understand his price tag. To be honest, I don't know how he can be valued at that for playing in League One. But there we go. But yeah, no, I agree. And that was another thing I was going to mention. Company does, he's one of the rare managers in the league that does have that experience of managing at Kenilworth Road. But like you said, it was a a difficult game for them. Both times it was last season. Even at their ground, second game of the season. Potts obviously scoring early for us in that one. So I expect a tight game again. Really, to be honest, when it comes to that, especially with Burnley, trying to get their first win. But yeah, obviously we're getting score predictions in a second. Massive game, chance to open the gap. Need to be on it. The crowd will definitely play their part and push the boys on. Coming new Hatters, yeah, absolutely. Chelsea losing tonight, are we? Well, you never know, but I do think Fulham will win again. I think it'll be like last year. But we'll see. We'll see. Great win for Luton. Need to build it up. Yeah, exactly. Especially with this game. Another team that are going to be in that battle. Stephen agrees with me when it comes to the 11, and then Jackie agrees with you, Doug. So we've got mixed ones. But like I say, if we went with your one, I wouldn't mind that at all. And it would make sense.
We're just going roughly. Rob Edwards last time. I thought we'd be playing like we did against Fulham. What was it, 5-4-1 or 4-4? Whatever it was, 1-1, and we didn't. And
Yeah, exactly.
That more that he believes in the players. Actually, we don't need to be doing that. We can exploit this and that, and it worked. So yeah, but it'd be similar. It'd be like 4-3-3 or something. It would be similar to that. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 3 up front and obviously Kabore start, but Chio, Morris and Brown up front. Or even might switch it up, put Elijah on. You might see something that can cause certain problems in their defence or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
We just need to be big, brave, and strong at the back. And if you've got players there to do that, I think I would put Anderson though in this game.
Yeah, that's how I wouldn't mind that at all. There was something else I was going to say. Yeah, that was it. Chio on the right. We've seen that he can play there, and played there pretty well. The time I saw him play there was for France. Not for France, sorry, against France, for Ireland. And he looked very good. So he's another player that's capable for me to play in that right wing back role. So yeah. A few people putting their predictions. Obviously, I'll get into that at the end. Big up to Jamie. He says, yo, big up yourself. We have options. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, being at home, we can have a little, turn around and change it up, a lot more than we would if this was a play. But it's that time. Score predictions. How are we feeling? Obviously, like I said earlier, we haven't beat Everton. Not Everton. What am I on about? Burnley in 23 years. Obviously, the last 6 games, we haven't beat them in any of them. But it was similar against Everton in a sense where we didn't beat them for ages. So is it going to be another win for the Hatters, Dad?
I think it's going to be tight. You know, they're going to come in. I wouldn't be surprised if they score the first goal. I saw an interesting stat earlier. Only one of two sides that there hasn't been a goal in the first 15 minutes of our games. That's either conceding or scoring. Probably that potentially will change tomorrow. So go and put money on that was scoring the first minute or whatever. I just think that it's going to be close, as you kind of expect. More so the fact that they'll be going for it. I don't know. Both we'd probably settle for a draw more. If that makes sense. If they put it on us, but I just think that our towers are going to be up, and we've played them recently. The crowd will be helping. I think it's our time to shut a few people up, and so that Burnley spent the most money out of the promoted teams. They signed that £90 million keeper who basically only played League One football just because of Man City. We got Man City player and all made Kabore. We didn't pay 90 million for him, thank fuck, and he's doing terrible. And I just think, we're going to do that. We'll go above Everton, so there's more drama to come for you boys if you're listening to this. I'm going to go with the 2-1 Luton.
Nice. I like that. As for my score prediction, I was flickering between two scores, but positive scores in this game. Like you say, obviously a draw, we'll be more happy with it because obviously, Burnley are trying to get their first win. And like I say, Company is one of the rare managers that has managed at Kenilworth Road. So I expect a tight one, but I do think we'll win the game. And I do think we will go 3 games unbeaten. I am going to go with a 3-2 victory for Luton. I reckon there'll be goals. I'm going to go goals galore. Similar to the Gillingham game where that was just goals galore. Obviously, the last time I said a 3-2 was obviously that. And I got that right. So, I'm going to go with that. But that is that for the Hat Show. That is episode 122. Any final things you'd like to say about anything? And also, before you do, this is very true as well. We can actually go above Chelsea if they don't win tonight.
Goal scorers. I think Morris is scoring his 3rd consecutive game. And he's going to get their first goal for Luton. In the Premier League. I'm going to go
Doughty?
Chong.
My goal scorers.
Be surprised to see Barkley on the bench.
We'll see. But for me, I'll go Morris again, I'll go Doughty. I reckon Doughty will score. I'll say 3-2. Last time it was a 3-2. He scored in that as well. And I will go... Do you know what? I'll go Brown. So, that's the 3 that I'm going to go with. But your score predictions are... So, Jackie has gone with a 2-1 as well. The scores I was flicking in between, by the way, was a 2-1 and a 3-2. And then Spencer's also gone with a 2-1 as well. So that is fair enough. But, that is, like I say, episode 122 of the Hat Show done. Hopefully, the next time we have a Hat Show, monetization will be back because tonight at midnight I can actually reapply. And apparently when you reapply, it takes no longer than 30 days. So we'll see. But I know for someone that had the issue I had, it took 2 to 5 days. So we'll see. Maybe even get back for the Tottenham game. That'll be boss. But we will see. But next Hat Show we'll do it on Friday. We'll do it on Friday again. Might see if we can get a Tottenham fan on as well. But that'll be that. Obviously, we'll react to this game probably round about the same time, 6. And then obviously I'll be back again with a watch along, another watch along, 3rd watch along this season. It will be. So that is that. But yeah, Jackie is fingers crossed. Do you know what I mean? That we get that win. And Spencer says, take care all. Come on, you Hatters. So yeah, big up yourself like always, Spencer, mate. But yeah, that is that. So yeah, don't forget to smash a like if you haven't already. That would be much appreciated. The current like count is on 9 likes, so big up yourself. Try and get that to 10. I know a few people watch this back on playback as well, so smash a like there. As for new subscribers, we did gain one earlier, which did actually put us to 1.81k. So big up yourselves for that. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to follow me across any of my socials, links to them are in the description. Do subscribe to the other channel as well, T-Boys TV Extra. Again, link to that is in the description. And until Friday, we will see you lot in a bit. So until then, take care and peace. Come on, Luton.